Hey y'all, it's me Alex. Today I am doing my February favorites video, everything that I've loved for February, and these are things that have possibly shown up in videos past as well, because a lot of these aren't things that are particularly new to my collection, you know. I just wanted to talk about them because I have been using them a lot. But I think that y'all know that, you know, what a favorites video is all like makeup-y type stuff. Well, a couple pairs of shoes, some media, if you will. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I've been loving two eyeshadow palettes this month. The first one is actually what I'm wearing on my eyes right now, and that is the Drench Cosmetics Cosmic Oasis palette. Now, if y'all will have watched my live stream on the Beauty Girl a couple weeks ago, I used this palette to do an eye look. I also recently purchased their Jupiter Jungle palette because this quality is so good, and I just wanted to try more of their products. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm not going to show it for too particularly long because some of the shadows are like a little bit loose. This one fell out. It was another like very beautiful red, a little bit deeper than the one next to it, which is the one that I'm wearing all over my lid. That one I don't know where it fell. It fell on the floor and then I did not see it, so I believe that it belongs to the void now. But I feel like this is a very versatile little palette. You can get some very like neutral looks, some very bright and vibrant looks, and some looks that are kind of in between. I like that the majority of these shades that come in this palette are mattes. Even like the more colorful shades are mattes. In fact, I feel like there's more colorful mattes than there are colorful shimmers, which I think is actually really nice because usually in palettes it's the other way around, especially with more mainstream brands. But I find that all of the shades work together really well. I'll show y'all that little taupey shade up top is actually one of my favorite little shades. It's such a nice little shimmer. I forgot how nice taupe looks. I think that it is a taupe notch shade. I'm worse than ColourPop. But yeah, this is such a good quality palette. I find that the shades are so pigmented but so easy to blend. It just plays so nicely, and the shimmers can be like nice and soft, but if you kick it up a notch with like some setting spray or with glitter glue or even just wetting your brush a little bit, I find that they can be really beautiful, very metallic, very high impact. So you can really get a wide variety of looks out of this palette, and I just really enjoy playing with it. And the other palette that I've been loving is the In Your Dreams palette from Wicked Sisters Cosmetics. I love this brand because they do a whole bunch of like spooky shit, and in case you haven't noticed, hi, hello, I am spooky. But this one is themed after Nightmare on Elm Street. I almost just said Nightmare Before Christmas, but it's Nightmare on Elm Street. And again, this one is a little bit on the neutral side too. Well, not for everyone, but for me personally, it kind of is. This is definitely warm tone neutrals, but there's like a little bit of green in there, and I love the shade Dream Demon. I think that Wicked Sisters Cosmetics has a really awesome eyeshadow formula. They're very pigmented, but they're very tightly pressed. So like for me, as someone who is a heathen and digs into my shadows, like they're not quite as messy as some other shadow formulas that I have tried. Now there are two pressed glitters in there, which are Razors and Primetime, and I'm not the biggest pressed glitter person, but I always find that if I like the theme or the color story of a palette enough, I'm okay with ignoring it. I did even try Razors on my eyes, and it did look really nice. I feel like pressed glitters are so much work, and I don't like how they feel. They're not very fun for me. But overall, the quality of this palette is super nice. Like I said, they're very tightly pressed, so probably if you have a lighter hand with your shadows, you might have to build it up a little bit more. But since I dig into my shit, I'm fine. I'm fine. This goes fine. And I also love that this color story is still very much reminiscent of Nightmare on Elm Street, but like without going the full-on Freddy Krueger sweater. Like, you know how his sweater is like the red and green stripes? It makes it look like that, but without like making it look Christmassy, you know? It actually looks like the movie, which is super exciting. But yeah, this is a really good palette. I'm waiting for their Scream palette to come, which will hopefully come in very soon, so I can play with that and show that to y'all too. I love that they just do horror themed palettes. I think it's so fun. Okay. So that's the other eyeshadow palette that I love. I have a couple of cheek products. I'm gonna just share this one first. This one I think made it into my 2020 favorites video, but this is the Milani Cheek Kiss liquid blush in Nude Flush. I love this. This is such just like a nice neutral sort of liquid blush. If you want to try the Glossier Cloud paints, but you're like, oh, that's a lot of money and I don't want to, you know, you want to get Ulta points to get this instead. It's basically the same thing. I have the like nudie brown version of the Glossier Cloud paints. It is literally the same formula and the same shade. This one is just like half the price. So I 10 out of 10 would recommend this one over that. They also have a lot of different shades, but this one is one of the only ones that I really like just because I'm very picky about my blush shades, but this one works really well. It just gives you like a little neutral flush to the cheeks. It almost makes you look, you know, like you've been outside, which most of us haven't been in almost a year now. And then, you know, I'm realizing also that I haven't worn any of the cheek products that I'm mentioning on my cheeks today just because I feel like it wouldn't necessarily go with this look, but whatever, we're continuing on. The next one is actually a combination of two products. So it is a cream and a powder blush. The first one, the cream blush, is the Lime Crime Software Blush in Flash Drive. I love this, like nice little shimmery pink. I got this in order to get free shipping because it was on sale, and I had heard very, very mixed reviews on the software blushes, but I find that it works really well. I've heard that the more like pigmented, wild and out there shades are not the greatest, like they are really pigmented, but they kind of pick up the product underneath, but I haven't really had that experience with this. I love the packaging. I think that that is so pretty. It's so cute. And it kind of barely shows up on me, but in like a nice little pinky flush kind of way. And it's very nice and very glowy. So I like that a lot. And then I like topping it with this Milani Baked Blush in Berry Amore, which I find is like slightly warmer toned. Let me just show them next to you. This one is slightly warmer toned than this one. So in the event that this one is like slightly too cool for the rest of the makeup that I'm doing, this one can kind of neutralize it and just turn it into a nice glowy flush on my cheeks that isn't too bold or like taking away from the rest of the look. So I think those are a lovely, lovely combination. Okay, last up in terms of makeup, I just want to mention the lipstick that I'm wearing, and that is a shade Rosemont from Fluid Beauty. And I like red lipstick on myself, but sometimes I forget how much I like red lipstick on myself. You know what I mean? Certain shades, especially this one, are very, very flattering. And I think everyone can wear red lipstick. It all just depends on what shade you pick. You can always find a red for yourself. I think Robert Welsh did a good video on like finding your own red lipstick. But I love this. I love Fluid. This one was actually sent to me about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And this, well, why the fuck am I swatching it? It is on my lips. It is just like very nice. It is very pigmented. You really don't have to go over it a lot. They also have one called Babe Town, which is a little bit like lighter and pinkier of a red, which honestly I haven't figured out a good way to wear it, but I do like it. And now in an attempt to get it off, I just, you know, this just isn't going well. But I think that this is a really great shade on me. It is, I'll say that their liquid lipsticks are a little bit more drying than a lot of other formulas, but the one thing that that kind of does is for Fluid, that means their liquid lipsticks stay a lot better than a lot of other liquid lipsticks I've tried. So if you are okay with a bit more of a drying formula, it is still pretty thin. It doesn't feel like super like chunky on your lips or anything like that. But if you're okay with a bit of a drier, thinner formula, as long as you get extra wear out of it, I find that the Fluid formula is super great. And I just love this shade of red. I feel like it makes me feel like really, really fun. And I like feeling fun because sometimes I think I'm quite boring. So I have two pairs of shoes to share with y'all. The first pair are these boots from TUK. I have shown these in a video before, I am sure. I love a good pair of chunky boots. That makes up half of my like shoe wardrobe. I have a bunch of chunky boots, Converse, and then like one pair of sandals, and that's it. That's how my shoes go. But these are from the brand TUK. These are completely vegan. I got these last year, no, I've had these for almost 2 years now, I think. And anyway, they're just these funky pointy toe shoes with buckles. They're with like the creeper sole. And I know that these look super uncomfortable, but they're actually really easy to wear. They don't make my feet hurt or anything. They're very squishy on the inside, which is amazing. I was not anticipating that when I got them. And I love these because I do have a job, like a side gig, that sometimes takes me out of the house, and I have to like dress up and look like a professional human being. And these shoes are really nice for that, because like inside, you know, with a pair of like dress pants, they look, oh, nice dress shoes that are a little bit chunky, a little bit goth, whatever. But when you actually take them outside, I wish that you could see it a little bit better in this lighting, because you can't really, but they do have a rainbow holographic effect that you can see when the sunlight hits them, which is so good. So I can wear these all day and my feet do not hurt, even in like standing and walking around and stuff, my feet don't hurt in these. So they're amazing, and yeah, super comfy. I got these in women's 9. I usually wear about an 8.5, but TUK does not do half sizes. So I always recommend, especially with their shoes that are more pointy-toed, size up in those. I would say that if it has a more squared off toe, then you can probably get away with going a half size down, but I always size up because that's a bit more comfortable for me. So these are super great. And then I got these Docs off of Depop last summer, and I just kind of never had an opportunity to wear them. But now, whenever I have to leave the house for like doctor, groceries, even just going for a walk, I wear these so much. So these were $20 on Depop, which is a goddamn miracle. These are, let's see, are they an 8 or 8.5 in women's? Okay, so these are a size 8 in women's, and they fit me really well. I have one other pair of Docs that I've had since I was, I think, a junior in college that are very well broken in, but these are even more comfortable than those, because I find that those, unless you're wearing really thick socks, kind of rub up against the back of your ankle. But these are super comfy. I'm assuming it's real leather. I did not like check necessarily, because I don't care if it's secondhand. I don't buy leather firsthand, but it's whatever if it's secondhand. But it's just this beautiful metallic silver. It's so soft. And then it came with these rainbow funky laces in there, and I was like, well, damn, those are Alex shoes. So I love wearing these. I find that these, especially in my general kind of uniform now, which is mostly like a t-shirt or sweater and like skinny jeans, this really kind of helps dress it up, make the outfit a little bit more interesting, and it still manages to be really comfortable. And while Docs are no substitute for snow boots, if that's one thing that I have learned from moving to New Jersey, is that Docs and snow boots are not the same thing. For occasions when I don't want to wear my snow boots everywhere and the snow is a little bit lighter, these are really good for that too. In terms of like food stuff that I've tried, I recently started eating Bonza Pasta, which is basically pasta made out of chickpeas, which is super high in protein. I have been trying to like eat a lot more protein, and I've also been just like generally trying to try new foods and try new things. And so I've been trying to put a little bit more protein, a little bit more fiber into my diet, and I really like the Bonza chickpea pasta. I especially like their shells and cheese, mac and cheese. Oh, that shit is so good. It tastes as good as like Velveeta or Kraft, which like I know that is not the gold standard for food in any sense of the word, but I have a thing for really cheap mac and cheese. It's like another $1, but it's still really good. And I find that the texture of the pasta, unless I told you that it was chickpeas, you wouldn't know. Like, it does not have a different texture or anything like that. It tastes the same. It just like has a bit of added protein and fiber that you would normally get in pasta. I always try and make sure that I'm getting enough protein, and eating stuff like that that's really easy. It's just as easy to cook as like regular pasta, regular Kraft mac and cheese. That has been super helpful in making sure that I get enough protein while also eating like really fun meals, because I know that pasta is not like the healthiest for you, but I'm not giving up pasta, okay? Because, you know, sometimes I just want to eat some pasta with some sauce, and that's a really nice way of doing it, while making sure I don't necessarily have to go the extra mile and incorporate like some sort of protein into it, because it's already there in the pasta. So I think that's really fun, and Yeah, who knew they could make pasta out of chickpeas? They can do so much stuff now. TV shows, stuff like that. Well, as far as movies go, I did watch Creep for the first time this month, and that is a horror movie that had been recommended to me a lot. And I think that it was really great. Or maybe it was towards the end of January. I don't know. I don't think it ended up in my January favorites video. Well, if I mentioned it before, that's embarrassing, but Creep is really good if you are someone who wants to try to get into horror movies, but you don't, you know, quite have the stomach for a lot of the other stuff. I would 10 out of 10 recommend that film because there really isn't a lot of violence. I'm not sure if it's PG-13 or R, but it's on Netflix. It's really good. They do a very good job of building up the sense of like dread about the situation without it like becoming, you know, without like jump scares. Well, they do some jump scares, but it's in like a funny kind of way. So that one is a really, really good movie. And let's see, we have also been watching, we started watching What We Do in the Shadows, which is really great. We haven't made it super far, but if you haven't seen it, it's basically like a sitcom, but with vampires, like kind of filmed in the style of Parks and Rec. It's really, really funny. And the director of it is Taika Waititi, who, as most of us know, did Thor Ragnarok, which is objectively the best out of the Thor trilogy in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that was great. And speaking of Marvel Cinematic Universe, I fucking love WandaVision. I'm well caught up to everything now. This week's episode, holy shit, that broke me. It was so good, but it broke me. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to spoil things, especially if you haven't gotten caught up, because it came out on Friday. I watched it on Saturday. Every time I scrolled through Twitter, I was terrified. In between Friday and Saturday, because I have a hard time avoiding spoilers, so I think I just need to immediately watch it when it comes out. I also just binge watched The Golden Girls this afternoon with Ivy in my lap, and both of us quite enjoyed it. Like literally, Ivy was watching all of the episodes with me. It was fantastic. I've been playing Stardew Valley a lot. I mentioned that as a favorite in January's favorites video because it was, and also Case bought it for the PlayStation, and now both of us play that together as well. And there was like the 1.5 update, which is so, that adds so much to the gaming experience. Like, it's already such a great game, but this just adds even more into it that I really love and I have a really good time with. Like, the developers of that game give so much to us. It's so great. So yeah, Stardew Valley, always. I've also kind of reverted back to my like emo roots, and I've been listening to a lot of Paramore this month because they're like my comfort band, especially their self-titled album Paramore. That's my favorite album of all time. Honestly, Last Hope is my favorite song of all time, and I find that they're very good for me to listen to like when I just need to feel my feels and relax. So I've been listening to that album, and I've been listening to After Laughter a lot. And I also, as far as like new music goes, because the thing is about me, I don't listen to a lot of new music or new artists. Most of my music taste consists of me listening to the same bands that I did in high school, but like their new albums, and if they break up, I get really sad. Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of new stuff. But I have listened to Youngblood, which he seems cool. I enjoy his music. I got his album 21st Century Liability, and I think that that is a damn good album. I think it was Lacey of Spooky Lips and Fat Hips who had posted like something of his on her Instagram story, and I'm like, well, he seems like an interesting person. And I haven't listened to like new music in like forever, so why not? Why not just go listen to one of his albums? And you know what? It's really good. Still kind of maintains that emo alternative type of music that I really enjoy. So yeah, I think that's it. Okay, I do have to cook dinner because I am doing like a little virtual Zoom dinner with a couple of friends. So I'm going to go do that. Let me know all of the things that you've been loving for February in the comments down below. I love to hear from y'all, and thank you so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and I will see y'all in my next video. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye!